So one of my history teacher's favorite line is that GUIS is a wonderful school. And I really think that way, not because of any other reasons, but it really have so many restrooms and they're so clean. One of the dilemma I always face in the last campus was that the restroom was so limited, and they're so dirty. So whenever I was in rush, I rush into a restroom and I bear it, I used it, I finish myself, and as I walk out, another person is walking in, and we look at each other, and her eyes was threatening me. She's telling me that, okay, I know your face right now, and if I see the toilet is dirty, if you mess up the toilet, I would let the whole school know. So every time I go to toilet, I was overwhelmed by this intense feeling of shame. So teachers, that might be the reason why your students go to toilets so frequently during classes, because they won't be judged of their hygiene problems during the class time when they go to the toilet, because there would no one wait for there to judge them. So shame is actually a very usual emotion. The most common shame we have experienced in our life is to be stared by someone. It is easy to misunderstand that when we feel shame, it means that inherently we do something wrong. But actually, we feel shame when we are watched by someone. For example, in my toilet case, the thought of how would another person judge my hygiene problem was eating me and make me so suffering, making painful. I couldn't bring myself to meet people's burning gazes, even I didn't do something wrong, and even I'm just doing the most common thing like eating or drinking in my normal life. So quick fact, do you know that the shame is the lowest energy in the emotion energy level? According to Argenben, it said that pure passive shame can be debilitating, as it can immobilize us and strip us of our sense of self. And in the moment of shame, we may feel apologetic for simply existing. But the thing is, I find out that everyone in my life just got used to this shame emotions. In school, I've seen my friends suffering from getting anxious by every glances from others. People live in great fear, always wondering what others are thinking of them. People feel shame about various reasons, being too fat, being too skinny, and wearing their makeup today, not wearing their makeup today. And even one of my friends felt shame when she showed her toes to others. So that's weird, right? But why is that? The root of the word shame means to cover, a fear of being seen under the veil. People say that they want to dig a hole and hide into that hole when they feel ashamed. Just as we are ashamed of our primitive traits, like excretion, being nude, or exaggerated showing desires. After civilization, anything that is regarded to superior has its opposite, and the world is simply divided into black and white. And either you could be proud of yourself, be supported by the civilization, or you need to feel shameful about yourself. I think my personal experience can be traced back to my childhood. When I was in kindergarten, I was very active, nothing like a girl. So every time I showed my energy, my father said I would never be married and I would never be a good lady. When I was in the primary school, I dreamed of becoming a ballet dancer, and my mom said I couldn't do it because I was too fat. When I didn't get all A stars in my junior high school because of my mental problems, my parents said I would never succeed. And now I guess that if I don't get into a good university, my life will be not worth from my parents' perspective. This constant pressure from authority figures causes us to unconsciously divide ourselves between our true selves and the idealized version of ourselves. I gradually learned that what is accepted and what is not. I try to pretend I'm the one who is acting smart, who's looking good, who's being good every moment. Why others think so matters. One possible explanation is that in ancient societies, humans relied heavily on assistance of others for survival. As a result, the opinions of others would decide the personal chance of survival. So shame acts more as a mechanism to prevent the spread of personal negative emotions. But I can't just justify this emotion to myself. I can't allow my own thoughts and opinions to be overshadowed by exceptions from others and never question the justification of these standards. I feel anger. I feel anger that when people tell me this is an inevitable lesson to grow, to be an adult, I feel so scared. I feel scared that if I don't compromise, that I will be isolated by my friend and my family. I feel pain. I don't want to accept this role and apply this role to my close friends and family to make them suffering. And I feel sad as I realize I have already forgot who I was. And I prefer just not to. Just like the sun never thinks itself too bright, the moon never dislikes its own dimness. A tree never feels shame about its spectacular lines, and the flowers were not ashamed of its stink. One thing I don't want to see is that when I'm 19 years old and I'm lying on my bed waiting to die, and I rethink about my life. And I feel like I have always been living a huge fraud. I've never experienced real trusted friendships, and my dreams were constructed by my parents' opinions. I never had a chance to chase it, to fail, and to try it again. Please, my friend, come out of shame. Shame puts individuals in a very passive position, making people feel worthless and push you away from your own path. Care others by real sympathy. Walk in others' shoes to see what others feel like, and distinguish between reality and imagination. Mostly, your fear of being shamed is just your imagination instead of the reality. Assert yourself. Look straight into others' eyes and firmly tell others that you are doing the right thing and you know that you are doing the right thing. At last, appreciate yourself. The wound can be the cracks that the light comes in. So come off the shame, my friend. At that point, we don't need light to see you shine. Thank you.